Lisa is a half-length portrait painting by Italian artist Leonardo da Vinci. Considered an archetypal masterpiece of the Italian Renaissance, it has been described as the best-known, the most visited, the most written about, and the most parodied work of art in the world. Art historians believe that the woman who sat for Da Vinci was most likely Lisa Gherardini, the wife of a wealthy silk merchant who lived in the Florence in the 16th century at the same time as the Greek Renaissance artist. The Mona Lisa is so famous because it's an oil painting in the style of realism by Renaissance icon Leonardo da Vinci. Da Vinci was born in 1452 and grew up to be one of the best painters, architects, and inventors of the Renaissance era.
Leonardo was mastered at chiaroscuro, an Italian term meaning light or dark. This technique uses the constructs of light and shadow as modeling technique for achieving the illusion of plasticity and three-dimensional volume. Leonardo's version of the technique involves varying the darkness of a color by adding black pigments rather than making it more saturated or richer hue.
Tampuhan, meaning sulking, is an 1895 classic oil on canvas impressionist painting by Filipino painter and revolutionary activist Juan Luna. It depicts Filipino man and Filipino woman having a lover's quarrel. Luna's Tampuhan is a depiction of two persons staying inside the sala or living room of a bahay na bato. The two persons are Filipino lovers sulking experiencing tampo because of an argument. The man is looking out the street beside an cottage shell window leaning on the ventanilla. The woman, on the other hand, wearing a Maria Clara gown, has her eyes focused on the floor. According to Rosalinda Orosa, the man is Ariston Bautista Lim, a friend of Luna who studied medicine in Europe. Orosa further described that the woman is Emelina Trinidad. Trinidad is an ancestor of the owner of the painting and is claimed by Orosa to be the same woman who posed for Luna's La Bulaqueña, another Luna artwork that illustrates Filipino cultures.
The dominant element of this art are the space and movement. The human figures are placed in almost center part and the colors used make it possible for the viewers to easily distinguish the main subject. The dominant color used are yellow and brown. The background color contrasts to the colors of the main subject. The color used make it more classic and dramatic, that it gives the feeling of bringing the typical lovers' quarrels vibe on the past. The main figures did not cover most of the space in the painting, but the size is just perfect and not exaggerated. Juan Luna used oil on canvas to express his vision of his classical painting. The medium he chose is just precise to emphasize what he wanted to interpret to the viewers. The oil on canvas created some sort of rough texture. It might also trying to express what are the main figure is, expressing to the part of their lives.
To tell my sentiments about the 1886 painting by Vincent van Gogh, artist titled A Pair of Shoes, the first painting opens the door to the past. The image and the subject seems to speak directly about the harshness of the colors and the condition of the artwork doesn't need an explanation. It speaks for itself, sort of art that leaves a heavy and deep impression of the viewer. The shoe in Van Gogh painting may represent a shoe of a person who has experienced roughness of life, people who has endured challenges after a long day, rest something that symbolizes the hardship, a shoe that takes us to different places, different paces, different times a person came across. Van Gogh painted his subject in the dull browns, black, and beige of Nuenen palette, which constructed with the setting of fresh background of gold.